Chef Checks. It's me, Maya Chef Check, and welcome to another 3-hour compilation of Glinty Minty Sparkle Dollhouse item. This one is August-September, so that's what we're going to show you. All of the Glinty Minty Sparkle Dollhouse items I did in August to September 2025. Enjoy! Let's start with a compilation exclusive. There's this sticker with a key and flowers, and we're going to make it a outdoor chair for one of the cherry Glinty Minty Sparkle shops. But first, let's get it glued on. I also want to use the red butterflies in it, so I'm just going to sprinkle them around and get the sticker on like this. And now we're going to decorate the chair with some random items. We're going to use this flower part for the decoration, and we're also going to glue on a bead to complete it. That piece for this could do, and also a pink one, a bright cherry pink one to go along with it. Done. Let's let it dry before moving on to another item. I also added more details. Time to let it dry. I also have this, which I can make a table using it. And I'm going to make a table using this little box or round container, I should say. So I'm going to use some beads to fill the interior of it. I think I like this orange one, which I'm going to fill it up with. Let's just glue it inside like this, and something like this. And let's add some of these beads for the exterior of it. And I have these pieces of wool that I'm going to unravel and use for the table and chairs. But let's do the table first. We're going to just glue that on. And there we go. Now we're going to have to let everything dry. Then I decorated the chair and the table. Things dried. Time for another item. The next item is we're going to use that cut up bow cabochon to make a white lime green seahorse micro dollhouse. So we're using this piece for it. But first, let's glue on a base to it. Glue applied. I think I want to use a bead for the base. So here we have this butterfly bead. Now it has to dry like this before I can paint. But I also want to add a strip of fabric to it to complete the seahorse. So let's glue it on and let it dry. I may have to snip the excess, but this is how it will dry. And then I mixed up a big ratio of white to a small lime green to get the white lime green color as pale as possible but noticeable, and my camera is just showing it all white, although it's just very tiny bit green, lime green. So that's how I will paint it all over the dollhouse. I also have a sequin that I may also use for windows in this little dollhouse. So let me just finish painting it. Oh look, here's that sequin. Let's get it the darker shade of white lime color. So that's what I was doing for this dollhouse. Let's paint 4 of these sequins like this. And let's let it all dry after I finish it. The micro doll is dried, and I'm going to glue the sequins onto it. So let's remove them from the paper where I have painted it, because we're going to be gluing them on like their windows in the dollhouse. So let's apply glue to those areas and dot the painted sequins onto it. And keep doing it until you're satisfied with how many you have. Out of paper, I also cut out a door I'm going to glue onto the dollhouse. And now it's time to let it dry. Everything dried, and it's in the Glinty Minty Sparkle toy and bookshop. The dollhouse that I've made. Now let's move on to another object for today's compilation. I have this yellow button, and I'm just going to paint it green for the lily pad floaty. This will be for marshmallow, so that's what I have. Because I had this floating around, and it's perfect for her. So let's start making it by painting it green. It will be just the painting of it green. So, and also to not I'm going to make some more of these floaties for Marina and Brian, but first let's just make sure it's a smooth paint job on that one. But it's all painted. And this is how they look like, these 3 lily pads. Nice. Looking at this detailing, I want to change something about the inside. And I think I want to make the middle part of this a water lily, but I will have to paint it pink in order to do that. So pink paint, but this pink. I think I want to add a bit more red to this pink color, just to brighten it up. Add it in, let's mix it and paint it, trying to avoid making it green. It took a while, as well as correcting with the green, but eventually got something like this. Let's let it dry. After they have dried, I added some shimmer pigment to make them all shiny and sparkly with a little bit of glitter glue. And that will elevate the lily pads. I also want to add something to the pink ones. The pink flowers, so glitter glue as a base, and now I'm going to add flakes to sparkle up the flowers, the water lily flowers, and here we go. Then when I need to, I keep on adding the glitter glue and flakes to it until all the flowers are covered in it. Even added some on the lily pads. Time for it to dry. They dried and they're all done. And those three Mellow family cousins can use the lily pads like this. Time for another item. Let's complete Nicholas Mellow's outfit with a shrimp hoodie. But first, let's grab this fabric and cut it into the right pattern. So that would be the top, the bottom part of the hoodie, and let's also get the hood. I've done so many of them that I can now eyeball, but I do highly recommend you measure your dolls when you are doing it to your dolls. And this one is compilation exclusive, so that's for the hood and that's for the bottom part. And yes, I will make a button closure for it later. And the buttonhole to make it ready for closing it with a button. So now let's just start making it, but first, because it's going to be this salmon color, because I want it to be the same color as shrimp in the Glinty Minty Sparkle City, so I'm going to pick the most shrimpy color that I have and just add blobs of it, because this one is the most accurate to this one that I have. So that's why I'm using it. Done. Now let's repeat that for the hood of it. just random scribbles because it will not be really bright, just a pastel shade because it's supposed to look really shrimpy. So that's what I'm achieving, and this is how it looks like from the front. I did it at the back of the fabric on purpose to give it like the shrimpy look that I'm achieving. Now let's stitch those areas, the top and the sleeves together with a needle and thread. I made the top of it, and now we need the button closure in the back and also attach the hood to it. But first, let's stitch the button onto it and then attach the hood. Base of the hoodie done. Time for the strings. I think I'll do some red strings to add to the shrimpy appearance of it. So let's use that red to add those strings to it. So I'm making knots in it. They have to be intentional so they look like shrimp feet or shrimp claws. I don't know really the anatomy of a shrimp. Or shrimp legs. Maybe it's shrimp legs because I don't fully know. So let's just do this to add the strings to it. There's also other details like antennae and eyes at the hood and also a straw. So we're going to make those little details. One antennae made with just the leftover thread I have, and then just doing a knot in it to close it. Then I will have to add more into it. That did not stay in, so I'll have to redo that part. And now I'm redoing it like this. Shrimp antennae done. Time to get some dark colored freshwater pearls, dark gray and dark green. That's what I'm going to do for those eyes. So making eyes out of that, because whenever I made the doll from last 3 monthly compilation, so here she is, Glinty Kelly. So Glinty Kelly, I did tried to use dark green shoes, but it didn't suit Glinty Kelly, so I did not do it. So that's why I have leftovers for the shrimp hoodie of Nicholas Mallow. The leftovers. So let's stitch them in. They were going to be shoes, but neither eyes. What an interesting choice of my life I'm making. Something like this. And that's how it looks in the front. Very good. Now let's add the straw detail to finish this. Now it's the time to add this bead to it, all to create the straw. So let's just get the straw into the hood to complete it. But let's just add it in. And let's just also add another freshwater pearl, cause you know I have leftovers from Glinty Kelly, so I just cannot run out of it. So let's now get it on like this. And it looks like this. Now the straw will get a bit of red marker. So let's use the scarlet one and draw on to it some stripes. To complete it. And this is it done. And the shrimp hoodie looks like this. Time for another item. I have this piece of cut up lid that I'm going to turn into the Boxfish restaurant French fries. So I'm going to cut it into small, tiny pieces in order to make the French fries and the packaging. Okay, that's how many pieces I've cut of it. Time to paint the French fries a baked potato color, like a golden brown, just like French fries. So let's mix up the correct color. But first, let's get a piece of paper to protect my desk. And those pieces are seriously tiny, so I'm not going to make them removable because I'm too paranoid about losing them, but okay. Now let's pick out the paint that I'm going to use. I'm going to be using yellow and apple cinnamon to make it more potato-like. It's mixed. Now let's mix the white to make it a lighter shade of potato color. And once that is painted, let's let it dry and paint the other parts. The big parts I'm going to paint pink to make it a French fry packaging. So, decided to paint the packaging pink and let it dry. And once that's dried, we're going to glue on the French fries. Even made some with cardboard to add more to it. So, let's keep adding until it's bulked up with these. And done. Now let's put something at the back of it to decorate it. I have some pink paper that I painted while painting the other parts. So we're going to glue it on. And once that is glued on, we're also going to glue on a pink bow with beads. And once that dried, add black box fish spots on this packaging to help you know those are French fries from the Box Fish restaurant. And I'm also going to turn the packaging into an actual box fish by adding beads for the eyes and mouth. And let's let it dry. And those are the finished French fries at the Box Fish restaurant. What a creative design. And they look delicious, but okay. Time for another item. Let's make a cherry pink biscuit. So, I'm going to start by gluing the beads stacked up on each other. But the reason why I added a bit of yellow to warm up the cherry pink, it's subtle, but now we can glue the pieces on to create the biscuit. The translucent part will make it a jelly biscuit, so that's what we're doing. Let's glue it on now. And after it's glued on, we're going to add a pink cherry to decorate it with. And for something on the jelly part. So I'm looking through my beads. that I can use in it. So let's glue that on. And once that is glued on, let's give it a stem. And this is what we're going to be using. And try to angle it the right way. I mean the way you want. And I also added beads for sprinkle. And after it dried, it looks like this. Perfect biscuit for the Glinty Minty Sparkle Cherry. Apartments, time for another item. Have you ever wondered what happened to the pink glow-in-the-dark paint that was all dried up in the container? I used it for the water lilies because the paint was too dried up. Because the Sortine Grenache glow-in-the-dark paint is a really good glow-in-the-dark paint, but over time it can dry up to the point that it's like clay state, if you know what I mean. And I actually emptied a pink container of it for this hat, Nicholas Mellow. I had to paint a doll to be Nicholas Mellow. I added some hair on him, and the container is used for the hat. I did have to cut it with strong scissors and glue everything after painting him. But no, I did not show you that, or neither did I film it at all, because I wasn't too sure if it would work. I did make hat dolls like this before, but on this scale I wasn't 100% sure, so that's why I did not film it. But since it surprisingly turned out successful, let's finish it. Although I only verbalized how to do it, hopefully that's useful enough for you if you want to try it. But if I end up with another one of these empty jars, then maybe I'll make the video, a tutorial video of some sort about it. But for now, this is just the beta finishing version, so let's give Nicholas Mellow a hat. The pink part glows in the dark, but his hair does not glow in the dark. But anyways, let's get some plastic. Some plastic to make a hat. So, I'm thinking of what plastic to use. Here we go. I've ordered lots of glue, and maybe I'll just use the plastic bag for the hat. So let's just free all the glue from it and form something using the plastic. So we're going to build up a hat shape using all this plastic to see if I can try to recycle it. Hopefully it will work. So let's get glue in here for the hat, because later I'll be working a lot on his cat, because this Nicholas Mellow is my hat Nicholas Mellow that is not going to have it removable. So I better make it so good that I wouldn't want to remove it, although I still have my normal Nicholas Mellow. This one is just another variant, so with a hat that you cannot remove. So I'm wrapping the plastic around his head to build the hat. It is quite a plastic foil, and once I got the level of foil that I needed to get, time to let this dry, even overnight. I'm going to add windows to the hat, so that's why I was drawing areas where to not paint it black. There will be a heart and some flowers, and maybe I'll do another shape there. So I'm going to do a strawberry shape here and dot it. Those are the areas to help me know where to paint with the black acrylic paint and where to not. So, because I wanted the hat to have quite a look like a house, so that's why I planned out the window placements on the hat. And the foil will be all black, so that's what I'm going to do. And let's start painting already. This may be the most creative thing ever created, but who knows? It's what I came up with. So that's what I come up with, and that's what I'm going to do. A very advanced high top hat for Nicholas Mellow. Painted. I want to add flakes and a shiny topper to it later, but it looks more visible on black, so that's why I chose a black base for the hat, but let's let it dry before adding that to it. Then I made the window frames and I glittered them. Time to let it dry before I'm going to add even more frame with the ruffles. But that's for the next day. The hat dried. So now I'm going to ruffle this ribbon in the shapes of the windows on the hat before I glue them on. So I'm going to make the ruffles out of the pink ribbon and I may color it. So that's what we're doing. Ruffled into the shape of the window. Time to glue it on around it. So let's just get it on. So the window, I'm trying to make sure it's spread. And now, let's get this onto it. The ruffle. Ribbon, and I'm also going to add some sparkles around it, some sequins, for this one, and although they're just decorations, it will add quite a lot to it. Okay, so let's repeat the steps for all the other windows, including the strawberry here. The ruffles have been applied. I added details with ball and gel pens because the markers would spread, but gel pens wouldn't, and this one is just the sunflower ribbon colored pink. So now all of these details have to dry before I can paint the hat. It dried. Time to mix up glue and shimmer pigment to paint the hat with. I'm going to use some green shimmer pigment for the shine on the hat. We're just going to mix it with glue and paint it on the black areas of the hat. Painted. Time to let it dry before we can add anything more to it. But some areas are looking rough, so I may also add something there. So Let's use glue. And we're going to glue on this flower. But maybe I'll just make it smaller to fit better for the scale of the hat. And what I want to do for the hat, maybe I'll trim down the inside of it or remove it completely and just remove that and trim it down even more to make it even smaller. And we're also going to add a leaf to it to finish this area there of the hat. So let's add a leaf there. And let's just glue that here, and the inside of the flower I'm going to add some of this detailing with the beads, and there we go. And I'm trying to adjust it, and here he is, Nicholas Mellow, with the fanciest hat you've ever seen. I may add more to it, but it has to dry. Then I decorated away at it with flowers, butterflies, and fruits, and leaves. So I've let it dry, and that is the finished product of the hat, Nicholas Mellow. So there's lots of fun little details all around it, the hat. And I do have to make separate clothing for that Nicholas Mellow, but at least he has clothing on that suits him with this hat. So time for another item. I find this plastic dolphin that is hollow. So we're going to turn it into a kiddie pool for dolls. But first, let's get cherries on it. And this will be for the Glinty Minty Sparkle Dollhouse. So let's get the cherries first, then these pieces of wool to connect them. So we're going to glue these on. And I we're going to add some stickers to it. Let's add some of these to it. For some kiddie pool decoration tiling. So let's just add a bit more sparkle to it. And there we go. Repeat it until it's all filled up with sparkly stickers. Done. Here's the sink area. I was thinking of it being a kiddie pool, but it's more water bowl for horses, a rather fancy one. So let's glue it in between the sink and the stables for the horse area of the doll house. I do want to be able to open and close it, so there's that. Or maybe we shouldn't glue it on. Okay, so here I've added more glue. And let's just add a bit to this area. This one. That's way better. And now the horse can have some water in the bowl. It's a water bowl. There we go. Time for another item. In September, I did not have that much motivation to do the Glinty Minty Sparkle doll houses, but it's fine. 1 hour compilation is still good. And I hope you enjoyed it anyways. And we'll see you in another one. Because I decided to just do 1 hour. But anyways, how long will these compilations be? Sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 1. It will depend. And bye, Chef Jax. See you in another video. Bye.